We're about to break down one of the most terrifying scenarios you can imagine, second by second. We're going to look right at the raw physics of an event so powerful, it's almost impossible to comprehend. So let's get into it. So picture this. There are no warnings, no sirens, nothing. It's just a totally normal moment. And you are right here, just over 3 football fields away from the center of a 100 kiloton nuclear detonation.
That's it. That's all the time we're going to look at. Not minutes, not hours, just 2 seconds. You know why? Because at this distance, 2 seconds is basically an eternity. So what happens first?
Well, the very first thing that happens isn't a sound. It's not a shake. It is just pure, overwhelming light. Before your brain can even begin to process what it's seeing, the entire world is just erased by a flash of white. And look, this is not like looking at the sun. No, this is like having 1,000 suns ignite instantly, right in front of your face. The speed here is it's staggering. Okay, at 1/1,000,000th of a second, the flash happens. By 1,000th of a second, your retinas are already permanently destroyed. And then, at just 2/10 of a second, faster than you could ever blink, the heat arrives. And next up is the heat. But this isn't fire like you and I know it. This is a wave of pure thermal energy, and it's traveling at the speed of light. It has a name. It's called the thermal pulse. And here's the really crucial part. This pulse carries almost half of the entire energy of the explosion. Think about that. It's a wave of incinerating radiation, moving just as fast as that first flash of light we talked about. At 1,000 feet, the energy is so incredibly intense that surfaces, we're talking asphalt, concrete, even metal, they don't just melt. They vaporize. Gone. Any clothing you're wearing would ignite in an instant. Your body gets hit with third-degree burns across every bit of exposed skin, a pain you would never even have time to feel. But you know, the flash and the heat, they're really only the opening act. Because right behind them, moving faster than the speed of sound, is the most destructive force of them all, the shockwave. Now, to really get what the shockwave does, we have to talk about this term, peak overpressure. So normal air pressure around us is about 14.7 psi. A shockwave is basically a wall of compressed air that just violently and instantly jacks that pressure up to catastrophic levels. At your distance, 1,000 feet, the peak overpressure you'd experience is 50 pounds per square inch. Now, I know that number sounds kind of abstract, so let's translate it into what it actually is. What does 50 psi really do? Okay, for perspective, a peak overpressure of just 5 psi can shatter your eardrums and knock down concrete walls. We're talking about 50 psi. At that level, the human body it's just overcome. The pressure is so extreme that it ruptures your lungs, collapses your internal organs. Bones aren't just broken, they're shattered. Death isn't just likely, it's a near physical certainty. And here's the thing to really wrap your head around. You're not being hit by flying debris. You are being hit by the atmosphere itself, which has been compressed into a supersonic hammer. The very air around you becomes the weapon. So, let's put this all together. You've got the light, the heat, and the pressure. Why is there absolutely positively no survival zone at this range? Because it's a sequence of completely unsurvivable events that all happen basically on top of each other. You're blinded in the first millisecond. You are at the same time being incinerated by a thermal pulse. And then, just a second or so later, your body is hit with a level of pressure it just cannot physically handle. And that's really the ultimate takeaway here. We break these things down to try and understand them, the flash, the heat, the blast. But in the real world, at 1,000 feet, they're not separate events at all. They all arrive so close together that they just become a single, instantaneous moment of total annihilation. This kind of power, it really forces us to rethink our whole idea of distance and safety. It's a pretty sobering reminder of the physics we're talking about. I mean, when your survival is measured in milliseconds, what does being safe truly even mean?